cool week to week.
Dalton over the middle, caught, touchdown, Bengals. Marvin Jones, second straight week with a touchdown for Jones. And there's an injured Raven at the goal line.
Well, that was a good throw.
That's Kendrick Lewis who's down. But Cincinnati has taken.
What's going on, people? What's going on, Lions fans? What's going on, man? It's been about a month now since I did a video, but obviously I was waiting the free agent time, trying to just digest everything because we are on the road officially to the draft right now. It's been free agency this week, so been trying to concentrate on some of the things that's been going on there. Trying to see how Bob Quinn working this free agency period. And he been kind of busy looking at the depth and stuff. So let's get into it. Obviously Calvin retired on Tuesday, so now the team knows where they need to go. They need to add a receiver. And they did just that. I was so happy that Calvin made his retirement decision before the before free agency started, or before the new league year started. And I think the Lions are going to be a big benefit towards Calvin Johnson making that decision in. And it's pretty obvious, man, Bob Quinn, because a lot of people was wondering if this Calvin Johnson situation was going to turn into Barry Sanders Part 2. In order for it to turn into Barry Sanders Part 2, this thing was going to have to stick out way into training camp, and it didn't. It didn't reach close to that. I mean, I remember people was talking like, man, this was still going to be going on at the start of the draft. And so the decision's been made, so it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really want to talk about it. That's why I didn't make a video a couple of days ago on it, because I was like, I think everything that's been said about Calvin Johnson's been said. He's a Hall of Famer, all that shit. Fuck you, Deion Sanders, for blaming the organization. I can't stand these motherfuckers that keep, talking down about the Lions. I mean, we know this. It's really not even an organization that's bad here in Detroit. It's just that the team has not fucking won. I know they've made their mistakes and shit like that over the years, but I think every football team, it just so happens that the Lions have had the worst luck, with this shit. I mean, even Cleveland too. So, like I said, every team eventually is going to win a goddamn Super Bowl. I mean, it will happen. I mean, for the Lions, and even if it doesn't happen now, all we can hope is that it just happens at least once in our lifetime. I mean, shit. So all of that bullshit talking about, blaming the Lions for why Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson went out the door. It is what it is, I don't give a fuck. Like I said, we're moving on right now. It's 2016. There's no reason to keep looking in the fucking past. Let's see what Quinn's going to do. I mean, that's what we're about. So let's move on. That's why I said I don't even really want to talk about the Calvin Johnson shit, because it's the past, and a lot of us already knew he was going to retire anyway, so what the fuck. They got his replacement, Marvin Jones, yesterday. I'm making this on Thursday night, going into Friday. And Marvin Jones, man, yes to that move. Bob Quinn already solidified a position that needed to be solidified before the draft. This makes the decision at the draft so much easier, because getting a receiver obviously helps the Lions a lot. We know that, because that was going to be a tough decision. I'm not going to lie, man. The first round, it was going to be hard to pass up on a goddamn receiver, man. It was. It was going to be hard. And I think the Lions needed to get defense in the first couple of rounds. This helps them focus on defense now, because they no longer need to find Calvin's replacement. And like I said, you're never going to replace that kind of talent or that production that Calvin Johnson had, but you don't need to. You just need someone to come in, you catch the ball, stretch the field, and that's what this guy could do, Marvin Jones. I watched a lot of him in Cincinnati the last couple of years he's played there, because I've been following this dude since 2013. And I remember even when he played against us, he played pretty well. Remember back in 2013? Oh my God, that was a horrific fucking loss we had against the Bengals that year. That was the game right before when we had that miracle finish against the Cowboys. And Megatron actually went off in that fucking game. I will never forget that. I went to that game, man. That was a crazy ass fucking game, man. But yeah, Marvin Jones was one of the guys that I had targeted. Actually, I targeted most of the Cincinnati Bengal fucking players. Because I said, as much as Cincinnati loses that first game of the playoffs every fucking time, they got nothing but talent on that goddamn team. They have constructed that team very well. It's just unfortunate that they keep fucking themselves over. Like, especially, they should have beat Pittsburgh. Let's be honest, they should have beat Pittsburgh in that fucking game. But, you know, they let their emotions run high, made a lot of mistakes, penalties and shit like that, and just sent them back, man. And Pittsburgh took advantage of that shit. And but there's no doubt there's talent all flying through that fucking team, man. They know how to draft on that fucking team and build that team up. And that's why I was looking at their team as a primary focus for guys that the Lions should really target or try to go get. And some of those guys I believe are still available. I haven't looked at the latest signings. I believe there's a few still out there. Mohamed Sanu got picked up earlier today. There was 3 guys that I was looking at off the top. It was Marvin Jones, Mohamed Sanu, and Iloka. Obviously, we didn't get neither Sanu or Iloka, but at least we got Marvin Jones. Shit. At least we got Marvin Jones. This feels like a Tate move right here, man. Because when Tate came in, I was happy about that one. I knew the production was going to be there. And it's going to be good for... I think him and staff are going to click right away. Because he's like a cheap version of Calvin Johnson. Like, really. Like, he's a knockoff. Like, you know, like generic brand. That's what he is, man. For real. He could do a lot of things. He's a little bit smaller, but he could do a lot of things that Calvin could do as far as stretching the field, going over the top on defenses, and he's a good possession receiver. And that's what we needed, too. We needed a guy who could hang on to the goddamn football, could catch it. He's going to be perfect for this system because this system that JBC, Jimbo Cooter, is running is really a more shorter route system, like 15-yard passes and shit. It's really not the offense that you saw back in 2011. But this offense next year has potential as long as we get off to a good start, good protection, a better running game. We could actually have an offense that gets close to the 2011 offense that we had. I think we can even get close to the 2013 one that we had, you know, in terms of numbers. Stafford should have another, if he stays healthy and plays all 16 games, he should have another 4,000, maybe potentially even peaking near 5,000. There's still some things that we got to address in this offense in order for that to happen, and I'll go over that in a little bit. But for the most part, this is a good starting point for the Lions. Very, very good starting point. I mean, to address this need right away, it's excellent on Quinn's part. I mean, it's excellent, you know, and I could tell he's really. You could tell right now. I'm already kind of liking Quinn right now because let's just be honest. If Calvin played for this team this year, I probably would have been disappointed in Quinn because that means he had no power. That means ownership made that goddamn decision, and I think he's the reason why Calvin's out of here, which is actually a good thing. It's a good thing that Calvin's gone. Listen to me right now. It's a good thing that Calvin's gone. And I won't say something that's going to offend Lion fans, especially Calvin Johnson lovers. And I love Calvin Johnson, but look, I'm going to have to offend you guys. Marvin Jones, as of right now, is better on this team than Calvin Johnson. Way better. He's a younger, healthier body, and he's going to produce. He's going to produce this season. He's going to produce. He's going to produce. And that's all personally I can ask for. You know, he's going to produce. So for me, Very good move for Bob Quinn. Very good move. I talked to my usual, my peoples. I talked to Sean about it, and I made this video because my girl, little Sansi, she forced me to make this video. I just got off the phone with her. She was at work in the control room, and then we was talking for about a good 2 hours on the phone. While she killing time at work, and we were just talking about this move, and we was like, man, we love it. We love it. It's definitely this is such a good move, man. Oh man, it's such a good move, man. We was just talking about it. We was like, it's so good. And even my guy Killer Mike, because I had to talk to him about the Raiders moves. I'm gonna talk about those moves real briefly at the end. Because the Raiders went ham on the defensive side of football. Man, that team should make the playoffs, man. But the thing about this Marvin Jones move, it takes care of the need of the wide receiver position at the draft. We don't need to go after Treadwell, Doxson, all these guys, these top guys. We can actually go into the third round and draft a receiver there, third or fourth round, and get another slot guy or something, because one of the things I really like about Quinn right now, he's looking for depth. You look at his moves the last couple of days, a lot of guys you haven't heard of, but he said this team ain't got a lot of depth, and they don't have a lot of depth. They didn't have a lot of depth last year. That was the main problem that I had with this team. They didn't have a lot of depth. They didn't have a lot of talent. He's trying to address that shit. Obviously, he doesn't trust what the hell Mayhew has, and us Lion fans don't either. So he don't even have to feel bad about that shit, And actually, Mayhew is giving him a tough hand right now because he's kind of got to rebuild a lot of the structure of the roster. He's taking care of special teams, and I like that too because special teams can decide games. A lot of games, at least 6 games, will be decided by special teams. At least 6 a year. And you have to address that. I think we just lost Lewis, didn't we, on special teams for special teams? So we had to address that. He addressed that yesterday with one of the moves. He's been bringing in guys. Even if you didn't hear him, that don't mean it's a bad thing. That means he's just adding depth, You don't need to know every motherfucking name in free agency. Like, unless you know all 4,000 players in the National Football League, you have to be really doing your homework in order to know all 4,000 names of the guys in it. It helps. You know what helps you maybe kind of learn some of those names if you play Madden. Because Madden, like, if you play through franchise mode, you go through a number of names, and you can see guys that's in the league and shit like that. That kind of helps, but it doesn't. The thing about Madden is it doesn't have the guys off the street either. So guys off practice squads, it don't have all that. So you can't go fully by that, but you can learn a lot of names off of that. But like I said, this is the one move that Quinn could make. Like, in free agency, I only expect for the Lions to make like at least 2 to 3 big name moves. Like, the rest could be addressed in the draft because you build the teams to the draft anyway. So I still need to see 1 or 2 bigger names get signed. The closest we have right now, out of the ones I've heard so far that we've signed, and it's not even a big name, Stephon Charles. He's a defensive tackle. I know who he is, but most motherfuckers probably don't know who he is, but he played defensive tackle. He was a rotation player with the Bills. He's going to add depth because I like that we re-signed Tyron Walker as well. And you know what? I had to think about it too. Because I had to think about this shit. Haloti Nada, when I first heard about it, I was kind of mad. And it was funny because I was listening to Valente and Foster yesterday afternoon. was crazy as hell around 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. That shit was crazy. There was names get signed. All Brock Osweiler was in there. I was following the Texans and shit. My Texans. It was so many fucking names getting signed. Olivier Vernon. All of these big ass fucking names. Like, it was so many names coming off the board. Yesterday, it was so crazy. Then, for a lot of people, the Nada one was like a negative sign. Like, the thing was about Nada, when he got healthy, he played pretty good in that second half of the season. The first time I noticed him coming on was that Minnesota game. The home game against Minnesota. I started noticing like he's starting to come on a little bit, and then he's towards the end of the year, the Bears game, the Saints game, he's starting to play a little bit well. Like, if Nada could stay healthy, man, he's still a contributing factor. And I think with Nada, he's still a veteran. So the younger guys, because we probably going to have some rookies on that line, rookie pass rushers. He's good veteran-wise, though. And I think that was a good pickup in that sense as well. It's not that bad of a pickup. He probably won't even play both years. He might probably retire next year. Or he might just have a plan where, hey, look, I'm going to play the next 2 years and then I'm retired in. Because I'll be honest, I probably would rather have Nada still here than somewhere else. Because I think he could still perform for somebody. He's not the same Nada, obviously. I think that's the thing that people get kind of caught up in. He's not the same Nada. Probably won't play all 16 games. Probably play a good 8 to 10 games. But, I think he's still credible for this team. So it's not a bad move. And I like this move of Stephon Charles coming in here. Because obviously, if you look at his numbers, he's a sack guy. Pass rusher specialist. So he's going to come in probably in situations. And, he's going to help the depth. Hey, like I said, Quinn is taking care of depth right now. I'm loving what he's doing right now. Because a lot of teams, I could tell when you a casual fan. Because when you a casual fan, you think big names are good. There's a lot of teams that have failed with that. Miami, just in recent years. Miami, Indianapolis, Philadelphia. I can't believe Philadelphia is still making that mistake right now. Signing all of these motherfuckers, just throwing money out like it's gonna help the fucking team. The problem with the Eagles is they don't build their team through the fucking draft. They fucking throw all of these dudes. They had to trade 2 of the motherfuckers that they acquired last year. Like 3 or 4 of the motherfuckers. DeMarco Murray went to Tennessee. Kiko Alonso and Byron Maxwell, which was one of the biggest free agent busts of all time. He went down south to Miami as well. I mean, it don't make any sense. Free agency should be a supplement to the fucking draft. Take care, like, free agency is where you could build some depth at, but you need to spend your money. You need to spend your money smart at. Like, Marvin Jones is a smart decision. Like, I wanted the Lions to get. I would have preferred for the Lions to replace Calvin with a veteran receiver, not a rookie, because you need someone who could come in right away, because you have a veteran quarterback that's ready to win, come in right away and do the thing. So I was looking for Javon Curse, the dude that San Diego just signed, that came over from Cleveland. I always forget his name to do with the dreads. Oh my god, I always forget this fucker's name. But y'all know what I'm talking about. But he's not coming here anyway, so it's not that important to remember his name. But those are the names I was looking for. I was like, the Lions need, if Calvin Johnson real retire, and I knew he would. I said it. He's never going to play another down here in Detroit. Never. And I see him actually coming back to play. Guys, don't think that. I don't think this is a permanent retirement. I say it's about 60-40. 60% he stays retired, 40% he comes back and play for somebody else. And it's not going to be this season, because if he comes back this season, he's going to have to play for the Lions. I think what he's going to do is he's going to heal up his body this year. He's going to take the year off. He's going to realize, like, damn, man, I'm only 31. When he turns 31, he's going to realize, like, damn, man, let me get out there train for next season. Let me go sign with somebody in 2017 and come back and play. I can see him doing that, but then I can also see him staying retired. So we'll see how that situation goes. But it's not a Lions concern right now because he's gone. He's not gonna play another down for the Lions, so it doesn't fucking matter. But the Marvin Jones one is the one that they needed to take care of. They needed to take care of that particular position, and they got younger. They got younger and they got cheaper at that position. So I like that. I think they re-signed Corey Fuller, did they? So that's another good move if they did, because they just need depth right now. It doesn't matter who they really sign. They just need depth on this fucking team. You know, you need guys because the Lions suffered a lot of injuries last year in the beginning, especially at the beginning of the season. The reason why I think another reason why the Lions turned it around too, they was getting healthy in the second half of the year. We started that year so fucking injured, man. So, you know, it is what it is. So, really quickly, because I got the update right in front of me right now on the Lions free agency tracker. Let me go over the moves that we made and the guys who aren't signed just yet. So this is as of, believe this afternoon. So it's probably been updated again. I don't know if they went in here and edited it. Let me see when they updated it. They updated it as of, I'm on the prideofdetroit.com. They updated this at 7:32 p.m. Eastern. So I'm making this video in the middle of the night. So it's kind of like, it's probably updated. But let me go over all the moves that I'm seeing in front of me right here. It's 25 free agents that the Lions have had this year, so let's track all this down. Just in case you guys don't know where to go, see these moves. Okay. For the guys that were just re-signed, I talked about Tyron Walker already. And he's going to be great when he comes back, because remember, he got injured like early in the season against Seattle. He was out for the rest of the season. Haloti Ngata, Tahir Whitehead. I'm going to go over Tahir Whitehead when I talk about the defense, because I'm so glad we kept Tahir Whitehead. Unsigned, Stephen Tulloch. He's not coming back. I think he wasn't cut yet, though, which is weird about Stephen Tulloch, though. They got on here, and I suspected that, too. And these are the unsigned guys, by the way, guys. These are unsigned guys. Jason Jones, Jork Bell, who was released, guard Manny Ramirez, James Ahedibo, Daryl Tapp, Lance Moore, Don Malbeck, Dan Orlovsky, Josh Wilson, Jermel Cujo, CJ Wilson, Corey Wooten, Creston Butler, and Bear Pasco. Now, out of these names that I just named, the ones that they need to resign, Jason Jones, obviously Jason Jones. And I'm surprised he hasn't been either resigned or signed somewhere else just yet. Maybe Manny Ramirez, but I think it says Ramirez has led his attentions on that he would not return to the Lions in 2016, so he's obviously gone. Maybe Daryl Tapp. I like Daryl Tapp providing depth. He's getting a little older though, but I think Tapp is still someone we could have. I don't think we need Lance Moore. He was already kind of washed up anyways. It's really not the same. It really is no need for Lance Moore, because when he came in, he was supposed to like guide the guys through that horrible ass Lombardi playbook, and we just don't need it because we got a different offense with Jim Cooter. It's still actually the same offense, but it's a lot more simplified and a lot more edited for Jim Cooter. But yeah, we don't need him. I like Cujo. I think Cujo might be one that should come back. CJ Wilson's another one. I don't know about Creston Butler. I think we could, with Alex Carter coming back, man, I don't think we need, because we'll probably be drafting another corner too, and we'll probably picking one up in free agency. And I got a name in free agency, a big name in free agency that I want to go with when I talk about the defense. Let me see here. And this will probably be a long video, guys, just so you know. Yeah, I just see Jason Jones really potentially tap Cujo and CJ Wilson. I think the rest of the guys he just let stay on the street, to be honest with you. But they definitely need to resign Jason Jones. There's no doubt about that. The thinking with Jason Jones also could be, but you don't want to let him get away though, because he goes to another team, man. That's gonna be kind of bad. It's just like with Tahir Whitehead, man. You didn't want him to go to another team. Depends on what we do in the draft for Jason Jones, though. I'm wondering if we could hold him out through draft time and just see who the hell we pick up. But that's a tough decision. That's probably the main guy out of the unsigns that we got to really keep an eye on, is Jason Jones at this point. The rest of the dudes, they're either not coming back or there's no reason to get them back. The sign elsewhere, guys. We've only lost 2 guys to someone else. Travis Lewis, who went to Minnesota Trader, and Abdul Kadus, and this is obviously one of the ones that's been talked about the most in the last day or two. Is he signed with the Dolphins. He played pretty well towards the end, but I think a lot of people were kind of overrating him a little bit. He could be replaced, in my opinion. He was not like some untouchable dude, but it really depends on how we replace him, though. That makes the difference here. But like I said, he was coming on, but it's not a huge loss. And Travis Lewis wasn't a huge loss. Travis Lewis is more of a huge loss on a special team side, but we kind of addressed that with some of the moves we already made, so it's not a big deal. Restricted free agents, Tim Wright barely got on the field last season, so that's not something that is important. And these are the exclusive rights free agents. And these are the guys that signed their tenders with the Lions. Brandon Copeland as a linebacker, defensive tackle, Thornton. And I like Thornton. Thornton was big. He's a big ass rotation dude. I like him. George Wynn. I don't know why the fuck we keep bringing him back. Isaiah Johnson, center Braxton Cave, and wide receiver. Obviously, the bigger name in this group is wide receiver Corey Fuller. Signed his tender just today, so that was a pretty good move. Now these are the free agents that we signed so far. Out of the guys that we just signed, Marvin Jones, we know about him, the big money guy. Tavon Wilson, safety, cornerback Johnson Battle Mosey, is that his name? Signed a 2-year deal. A lot of people think with him that there's probably gonna be an upside to that dude because they signed him for like $4.5 million, which is kind of a lot for a guy. I think he was a special teams guy. He might be fighting for a position on his team. So on the defensive side, so it might be a good sign. And then got Stephon Charles, who's going to be in that line rotation, defensive line rotation. No one unsigned yet. Signed elsewhere, out of the targeted guy, George Iloka, which I just talked about. That's the only move out of all these moves that's been made in the past day. That was the only one I was frustrated with. Was truly the Iloka one. I wanted George Iloka so fucking bad. If we would have got him, holy shit, this defense would have gone back to the 2004 defense, man. 2014 defense. Oh my god. Yeah, so those are all our moves that we made. Yeah, so, and these are the targeted guys as of day 2, which is today, probably tomorrow as well, on Friday. By the way, I'm probably going to make another video within the next week, talking about more, if we sign anybody else of note. We'll talk about those moves as well, and then because I was going to make that big free agency video where I was going to preview a lot of the names, I decided to wait to see what Bob Quinn was going to do. I said it'd probably be this particular year, it'd be better to see what Bob Quinn does rather than make that, especially because of the Calvin thing. That was kind of holding up a lot of shit. So I'm definitely gonna do a preview video for the draft though. That's coming. It's probably gonna be a series of videos where I kind of like talk about some dudes we should draft leading into April's draft. We got a while, but that time will be here before you know it. Time goes so fucking fast, especially in the fucking spring. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, here's some players that haven't been signed yet that the Lions have been targeting though. And I don't think Bob Quinn been targeting these dudes. This is what the site is saying, but I just want to address some of these names anyways. For the offensive line side, Russell Okung. Now, there's a lot of controversy, and I'm gonna go over all these names individually in detail. Russell Okung. It's a lot of controversy with this guy. Obviously, he's a guy that can't stay healthy. He's got a big price tag. He's looking to cash in one more time in his career. But he's a big name, and he probably can help this line. As a matter of fact, anybody can help this line. But I don't like how injured he gets. That's my only problem with him. I don't mind bringing him in. Like I said, I think some people make a big deal out of some of these older guys. I do like a younger team. I'm with people on that. I like a younger team. That's what Quinn is. Quinn is seen to going with youth. When I'm looking at his moves, he's going with a lot of youth. So he probably won't pick up a lot of these older guys. But when you look at Nada, sometimes those older moves, you kind of need them. You kind of need some older guys at times on your team. And on the line, I'm not being picky on the line right now, dude. If we could get Russell Okung, we could get him. We got plenty of money to spend right now. We need to spend at least on two more big name players in this free agency class. And let's take care of the rest of the team at the fucking draft. I want at least two more, and there's a guy that I might as well talk about this because he's not listed here, but I'm going to talk about him at the end of when I go over this little list right here. Russell Okung, I'll bring him in though, but I know he's going to be heavily sought after. I think it's taking him probably a while to get signed because the Seahawks are in play right now to actually re-sign him. And there's a lot of people going after him. I think there's some stalwarts with this as well because of his injury history, so it's probably some caution. But realistically, I don't see the Lions getting Russell Okung. It'll surprise the hell out of me. Now, this move is more of a move I want for the Raiders. Donald Penn. I want Donald Penn to retire as a fucking Raider. I don't want him going anywhere fucking else. I want Donald Penn to stick with the fucking Raiders. I love how he protects Derek Carr. I love how he protects that group. I want Donald Penn to stay with the Raiders. But if he went anywhere else, Texans, Lions, I want him there. He'll probably give Detroit a look. He's a top 10 tackle, man. I mean, he will immediately upgrade anybody's line. But man, the Raiders are doing some good things, man. Hopefully they don't lose this motherfucker. Hopefully he stays. Donald Penn, he's kind of underrated to me when it comes to offensive linemen. But man, the Lions need to give him a look, though. The Lions need to give him a look. Then there's Calvin Beachum. Obviously, this is a guy who's coming off the ACL tear. There's gonna be guys who tear their ACLs and shit, I don't worry about them too much. This isn't like a Derrick Rose situation where the guy is going to tear it twice in his career. Like Tyron Walker is coming off that same kind of injury, so I won't worry about that too much. Like I said, bring in whoever we can get. Bring in whoever we can get. So I'll say bring them in. Like I said, any of these three guys, we could bring them in. You know what I'm saying? Safety. Let's go with safety. Now, Eric Weddle, I just don't see him coming here. Actually, my Raiders have been talking about like they want to have him replace Charles Woodson, which I think would be a good move for them. I see him going to some kind of real championship, like a team on paper as a championship contender. I think the Lions are a championship contender, but not on paper, though. Not on paper. Like, I think they're one of the teams that you have to see it on the field in order to see what they do. But they're not a paper champion, though. But I think he'll go to a team like I said, I think the Raiders are a good fit for him because he'll stay in California. He's got a family. You got to look at guys that got families too, man. They might not want to move to these, for them, exotic locations. Like for Eric Weddle, Detroit would be an exotic location. It's colder. It's not California. I just don't see him coming up here, man, unless the Lions were like in a win now mode, man. So I don't see that. Reggie Nelson, while a little bit older, way older than George Iloka, I still bring this motherfucker in. He's still a hard-hitting motherfucker. Reggie Nelson, I will take. See, it's kind of like a Hedebo. He's still better than a Hedebo even at his age. I think he might be a little bit older than a Hedebo, eh? Let me look real quick. No, he's about the same age, 32. He's gonna be looked at a lot by a lot of different teams. It's gonna probably be hard to get him, but I'll still target him though. Hussein Abdullah. Now, I liked him with the Chiefs. He didn't play. He became a rotational player last year. Lost his starting job. He's getting close to 30, but is he a starter or could the Lions use him for depth? It depends on with Abdullah. It depends on if we can get him on the cheap. If we can get him on the cheap, I'll bring him in. It's just like, with Reggie Nelson. These guys got some age on them, but I'll bring him in on the cheap. See, I think Reggie Nelson's going to be a lot more expensive. Abdullah losing his position, his starting job, is going to make him cheaper. So, I'll target him. They got Luis Delmas. We could bring him back, I wouldn't mind bringing him back, to be honest with you. Any of these guys, I would bring him back for depth, but I still want a younger guy at that safety position. So, I'm thinking Quinn Pauly will address the safety position at the draft. He probably won't bring in any. That's why I said at the well, actually, you didn't say it, but me and my girl at the Sports Warehouse, Asante, we was talking about this shit. We was talking about, what the Lions might need to do the first 2 rounds. I'm saying a linebacker. And we'll go over that. I don't want to go over that right now because it turned into a whole separate conversation. Make the video longer. I don't want to do that right now. But like I said, I think he's probably going to address the safety position in the draft. But I got a name. Like I said, I'm gonna get to it in a second. I got a name that they need to resign that's not on this list. Now, there was another name. It's not in here, but it just reminded me when I saw this. 2 Ram players. Chris Long, and I remember when I saw this a few weeks ago. Chris Long and James Laurinaitis. Oh my fucking God, I could not believe that the Rams got rid of these two. Maybe there was, I know they're going through the whole transition going to Los Angeles. Maybe that's why they made this move, but I was still kind of surprised they made both of the moves. Chris Long and James Laurinaitis. Man, if the Lions could get James Laurinaitis in here, because I will bring in James Laurinaitis for this specific fact. The guy's a tackling machine. He's a little bit limited in coverage. He's not as good as he was maybe about 4 years ago. Honestly, especially in coverage. That's his weakness. But if you could start him in at middle linebacker next to Levy and could kind of get Levy, because Levy, I hope with people allow Levy to ease himself in, guys. Allow Levy to ease himself in, because I think Levy, it's going to take a Levy a little bit of time to really become that dominant force he was. I'm going to say he probably will start getting into it around October. It's going to be a slow start for Levy, man. So he needs all the help he can get at that linebacker position. That's why I say I would rather, this is what the Lions should do. Draft a middle linebacker in the first round or two, have James Laurinaitis start the season, and just sort of have the guy who we drafted, middle linebacker, either place him on the outside, because I don't know if we're gonna. I don't know what we're gonna do with Josh Bynes, but we got Tahir Whitehead on the other side, so that's been taken care of. Calvin Noy, unfortunately, probably won't be getting in there again because now there's money behind Tahir Whitehead. DeLevy coming back. There's not a lot of holes on this linebacker core now. Now we just need to find a middle linebacker. But the problem with the linebacker position, we don't got a lot of depth. So we need to draft a couple of linebackers, at least two in this draft. One that's going to be like an Urlacher, going to be our featured quarterback of this defense. Because that's one thing that the Lions have not had, was a featured middle linebacker to build around. A Ray Lewis type, where you just build that whole defense around that middle linebacker. We need someone like that. That's what we don't have on this fucking defense. We need someone like that. So, for right now, I will bring in James Laurinaitis. This will ease in the rookie to maybe sit back and watch for this season, kind of ease himself in, get in rotations, not have all that pressure on him in his first season. James Laurinaitis would be perfect for that, man. Perfect for that. So, I'm telling you, man, if we could get James Laurinaitis, man, that'd be a fucking steal for us, man. Out of the names I just named so far, he's the one I want the most in this list that I see in right here. The other name, Zach Brown. He's another guy just like Abdullah, lost his star job, with the Titans. He's a bargain. He's going to be a bargain, though. He's going to be cheap. Guys who lost their position in 2015 are guys who are obviously going to work hard in 2016 to try to get the job back. That's never a bad thing. If we need depth, why not? Why not? And we got Danny Lasana. Little bit up there. I would say you could probably lay off of him. But there's a guy that I would say, Raphael Bush from the Saints. He's obviously visiting the team on Friday, so we'll see what happens with that. So be on the lookout for Raphael Bush from the Saints. We'll see what happens with that. I hope we sign him because that'll provide some depth in the safety position, which we need. Probably will start the season if we don't get someone of note or a big name at the position, even in the draft. He'll probably start the season with us. But the guy that they need to go get, he plays corner. His name is Prince Amakamura. Gotta go get Prince, man. Gotta go get this motherfucker. He was one of the names that I saw in free agency. I had him in my top 10 of guys that the Lions should target. He is a guy, in my opinion, who, opposite of Slay, that's pretty goddamn good, man. I mean, that and to me, he's an upgrade from Nevin Lawson. We're going to have Alex Carter back, but Alex Carter is obviously going to be a nickel or a dime this season. So, we need... It's... Because we need another bigger name. Obviously, we need another offensive line. We need to get an offensive lineman that's a big name. Maybe a linebacker like a James Laurinaitis, which I think is a big name. Or Chris Long on that line. Especially if we don't get Jason Jones back. At least get Chris Long. One of those two round guys, at least. Shit. But Prince Amakamura from the New York Football Giants, that is a guy right now that I will go after. Especially since you didn't get George Iloka. He plays safety and he plays corner. But to me, Prince Amakamura he's not played his best football in this league just yet. And if he came here to play with the Lions, he would be playing his best football with the fucking Lions. And he's a guy that you'll probably be paying enough to get him. But guys, I look at it this way as well. It's not like if he fails here, it's not going to hurt us because This is the reason why I say this. Because Quinn is going to draft a corner anyways. He's going to draft someone that he thinks could be a future corner next to Slay. Then there's still there's something that the Lions still have to think about. They could lose Slay in the future. You know, whenever his contract comes up. People didn't think about that. We could lose Slay. So you kind of want to start really feeling depth at that corner position just in case that does happen. I think we'll have Slay here, though. I think he'll be here. I think he's a franchise corner with us. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll be here. I don't think it's too much that the Lions fans have to work. But it's something to think about. And what Prince Nakamura does, he just gives you, he's like a Band-Aid. He gives you some protection. He's also someone who could come in right away, start the season with us. And I think he'll do fine. I think he'll do fine here. But that's a name, man. If there's a big name that's left that we need to go after, it's fucking him. It's fucking him. Because he, like I said, the scary thing about Prince Nakamura, he battled a lot of injuries that I think set him back a little bit in his career, but he has not played his best football just yet. So that's a guy that we need to go get. That's a guy that we need to go get. We need to go get that motherfucker. We need to go get that motherfucker. Okay? We need to go get him. All right. We need to go get him. You know what I mean? We need to go get him. So, for right now, that's you know, as far as free agency, I'm liking what Quinn is doing. He's providing depth, and then Marvin Jones, you know, doing his thing, and I can't wait to watch it. Now, you know, it's baseball season hasn't even started yet. I'm already looking forward to football. I'm looking forward to baseball as well, especially when spring training gets here. I'm real bored of watching that shit. Playoff basketball, playoff hockey. Great time to be a sport fan coming up, you know. But it's on Olympic year. You know, I can't wait for the Olympics this year, man. I love watching the Olympics. I don't know about y'all, but I love watching the fucking Olympics. But, man, I'm getting excited for this season, man, because now that we signed a guy like Marvin Jones, I can't wait to see the way Stafford plays, man, and play with this motherfucker. It's going to be awesome. But, yeah, it's going to be awesome. But, look, the Lions still got a lot of holes on this goddamn team, man. It's not even funny, especially on the offensive side. Because, look, offensively, as of right now, we still didn't really draft no offensive line needs. You can kind of tell. It looks like Quinn is kind of doesn't look like he's looking for offensive alignment and free agency. It looks like he's probably going to go into the draft. And unfortunately, he's going to stay younger. I wanted them to actually get a little older on the line to bring in. They need to bring in someone to replace Reef and at least another player on that left side. Left side is fucking trash. O-line Warford, like I said, that right side is okay. That right side is good with me. This is that left side. Anything left of Warford, Swanson, garbage ass Reef, and Tom. I could tolerate Thompson because he's still young, and I need to see more out of him. So I'm not like at a point where I'm like, oh man, I'm done with this motherfucker. I don't want to see this motherfucker. No, I'm not at that point yet. But we need to address that, and we need to get another running back. Like Abdullah is not finished yet, guys. Like some people are kind of already writing the book like this motherfucker is never going to be shit. With Jordan Bell not coming back next year, I think that you open up a real competition right now. You're gonna get Zach Zenner back. That's gonna be a plus for us. I think Zach Zenner might actually replace what Jordan Bell was giving us, and I think that's another reason why they probably re-signed George Wynn. Even though I just never saw the value in George Wynn. Got Theo Reddick. Theo Reddick is obviously, he's turning it into, like, this guy's going to build up a hell of a resume or a career in the next few years. Like, because he's a receiving target. He's not much of a running back, but he's just a guy that makes a lot of catches. Like I said, I hope Abdullah, we in the offseason right now, you better be working on those hands, boy. you better be working on holding on to the football. Fundamentals for you, Abdullah. Because that's the one thing that's holding you back, Abdullah, is your fucking fundamentals of holding on to that goddamn football. Because if you had that in place, dude, if you had that in place, you would be a fantastic star on this team. We wouldn't even be talking about the running back position because you would have been that motherfucker that we're building around. But now we still got to go get another running back because you dropped the football, because we lost Bell. You know, so we still need to get a running back. And at the draft is going to be so fucking interesting because I think the Lions could do anything. They can also trade down. I actually want the Lions to get... See, we don't know what Quinn's strategy is in the draft. He might go get 2 first-round picks. You know, and if I'm Bob Quinn right now, I'm looking to trade up and try to get in that top 10 potentially and maybe get another pick in the 20s. Because I think the Lions are at a point right now where they're going to need at least 3 players taken in the first 2 rounds. They need, because they got to address offense in that first round and they got to address defense. They obviously need to use the first 2 rounds on defense. I agree with Man Beast. If you watch this video, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. We need to do the first 2 rounds defense. My boy Sean said, he was like, look, we need to address, you know, we need to address offense, but we need to address defense. And the thing is, because we could go get Ezekiel Elliott and then we can... Because the one thing that I don't want the Lions to do, especially if we only have that 1 pick in the first round, please don't waste it on a fucking lineman, offensive lineman. Please don't do that. That's the only thing right now that I don't want the Lions to fucking do. Please don't fucking do that, man. Don't fucking do that. Don't do it. Don't fucking waste it on offensive lineman, dude. God damn. Because you need to address it on someone who's going to make an impact right away. Middle linebacker, safety, corner. Another pass rusher, so someone on that line. Someone opposite of Anza, our boy Anza. And then a running back. That's another need. Now, obviously, now that we got Marvin Jones, we don't need to go at the receiver in the first round. So that's good. I'm glad we took care of that. Well, don't do the tight end thing. Don't do the Eric Ebron thing either. I would think on the offensive side in the first round, the only position to draft in the first round is running back. That's it. The other 2 are just defense, okay? What the fuck is this nigga? I'm sorry, I got the Lakers, I got the Lakers Cavs game on. You know, LeBron gets Kobe for the final time. They deep into the 4th quarter. And, yeah, I saw Cam Newton. I was like, what kind of a fucking hat you got on, nigga? You know? But anyways, like in this draft, they got Joey Bosa. Now, one thing I picked up from Manby's video, what he was talking about, was the Ohio State players. There's a bunch of motherfuckers from Ohio State that we could go after. I'm actually, I probably need to DVR that. If I got DVR space, I might DVR that fucking pro day. It's an Ohio State pro day on in the morning tomorrow. Unless they repeat it. Let me see if they repeat this shit. Let me check my guy real quick, guys, before I continue. Just want to see if they repeating that pro day. Let me see. Oh shit, 2 hours and a half. Hold on, what space I got in my goddamn. They are repeating it, so I might be up by the time the repeat comes on. They repeating it at 11:30. I might have to watch that. You know, it's not going to make a huge difference in what they need to do, but there's quite a few guys in Ohio State that I've been looking at. And we could take one of those guys. So then we got the Alabama guys, obviously, that we could go get. One of the main names right now that they obviously could be targeting is I'm watching. I'm kind of distracted right now because I'm kind of watching somebody. They had like a back view of Cam Newton that looked funny as hell, man. I don't know what the fuck that was. Shit. Oh man, because I got a TV on mute, so it's kind of hard to see what they were pointing out. Kobe coming out right now, but yeah, man. Miles Jack is the one dude that I've been actually looking at. If he slides down, I think he's gonna get taken in that top 10. But Miles Jack will, because he's a leader type. That's the reason why I like Miles Jack. He's a leader type, and he's perfect middle linebacker option. Miles Jack. I mean, so there's a lot of options, man. There's a lot of options right now. So we know about Jalen Ramsey, but he's gonna get taken high. Like I said, some of these guys are gonna get taken too high, where by the time if the Lions don't trade up, we're not gonna go get them. But there's a number of guys that I kind of like. This Eli Apple, there's been some rumors that if he's gay or not, I don't give. Look, honestly. Honestly, I don't give a fuck what his sexual orientation is, as long as the motherfucker could play. That's all I'm worried about. That's all I'm worried about. But like I said, I actually want him for the Raiders because I think they need to replace Charles Woodson. They need a younger Charles Woodson at the corner position because I don't know if they're gonna. They've been loading up the defense so fucking good. Man, I might need to make a separate video for the Raiders because I know I can't address it all in this fucking video, man. But that won't be one. Reggie Ragland, linebacker from Alabama. Jack Conklin, he's been another name that I've been hearing about. Noah Spence. You know what I'm saying? Darren Lee is one, because I know Manby's talked about Darren Lee in his video. He's one that I'm really looking at because he's an athletic fucking corner. Athletic linebacker, dude. He will be there. By the time the Lions pick, I feel confident that he's still going to be there. So he might not be a bad pick. On a number of mock drafts that I've seen in the past week or two, a lot of people got us taking Taylor Decker. And if we were to take a lineman, I might consider Taylor Decker from Ohio State. If we took an offensive lineman, I might take Taylor Decker. That's the only dude. If it ain't him, don't fucking draft him, man. I don't want Ronnie Stanley. I don't want some of these motherfuckers. And honestly, I want Ronnie Stanley for the Raiders because Derek Carr needs another. If they don't get Donald Penn back, they got to go address that position. But another one, Jerron Reed. This is obviously a guy that's been linked to the Lions a lot. He's another guy that we could use. And then this is one. Remember, I was talking about him all year and during the season. He has not left my mind. But Kimdichie, I know how to say his name, Kimdichie. I got tricked because the N is silent, so I was getting tricked with that shit. But Robert Kimdichie he's still a guy that I would take. I know he's got some mental issues, but like I said, I just don't care about crazy dudes because I will even bring in Josh Gordon right now. That guy could play football. I don't give a fuck. He's not Lawrence Phillips. Y'all remember who Lawrence Phillips was, right? He killed the dude in prison recently. Or did he? Then he killed a dude and then committed suicide, some shit like that. I forgot what happened. Like, hold on, let me see if he's dead. I forgot what happened with Lawrence Phillips. Did he die? Did he hang himself or some shit like that? Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, yeah. Let me see if he hung himself. Let me see. Yeah, he was choked and then he took his own life. Yeah, okay, I got it. And that was obviously a CTE case. Just very sad, man, because Lawrence Fields had a lot of fucking potential when he came out of Nebraska in '96, dude, into that Rams team. He moved around so much after that. I mean, that's one of the sadder stories in all of football, man. If there's anyone that they could do on a football life, it'd be the story of Lawrence Phillips. It's just like the Jerome Brown, who died with the Eagles back in the early '90s. Just sad stories, man. Great prospects, but sad stories. And I feel like Johnny Manziel is going to turn into that next one. I don't know if he's going to kill himself or anything like that, but he's turning into one of those goddamn stories, man. It's sad, man. So that's the only issue I got with a guy like Kimdichie. And there was a lot of talk about bringing back Nick Foley. I mean, not Nick Foley. Nick Fairley. I will bring him back too. These crazy dudes, as long as they prove they could play in this league, I will grab them. I don't think you should be picky like that. I would grab him. Like, this dude, Kimdichie, he's falling down a lot. I will take a flyer on him at least. I will take a flyer on him because he could fucking play, dude. But I will probably, between him and Jerron Reed, I will get Jerron Reed first. Like, that's where I will go. But, like I said, there's some options here, man. Reggie Ragland. But I think a better fit for the Lions might be Darren Lee. I think he's a better fit for the Lions. Seems like he seems like a typical Terrell Austin guy, dude. I think he'll like him like he likes Terrell here, right here. So, but Quay might go with Taylor Decker. I don't know. But at least we don't need a fucking this is the thing. At least we don't need a fucking wide receiver now. So I'm all good from there. But Joey Bosa, I don't know. The only thing with Joey Bosa is I think he's a lazy ass motherfucker. Like, I think he's one of those motherfuckers who chooses when he wants to be real good, which is why, hey, if he's taking one of the first 6, let him be, man. Let him be. But if he drop, he's one of those guys that I think you should keep an eye on. He might drop a lot. He might drop. It depends. I think this pro day is going to probably be the last time they really get a chance to scout him. This is a very, like, if you're a Lions fan, I will recommend, if you see this video before this pro day comes on, if you're one of the lucky first few, watch this fucking pro day, man. I'm telling you, man, watch this fucking pro day because there's a lot of guys that the Lions could get from that Ohio State team, man. There's some guys that they could get lower in the draft, like 4th or 5th round. Maybe a Braxton Miller, a project receiver like that. There's some guys, there's some guys, man, on that Ohio State team in Alabama that I'll bring in. So we'll see. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna talk a lot about the draft, these next few weeks. So I'll keep doing videos, and because it changes a lot, man. It changes. So we'll see what we can do. But good progress on the free agent front. Like I said, I'm gonna make another video. There's another big, recognizable name that's added in there, and I'll get my thoughts on it. So we'll see, guys. But that's going to do it for now. Thank you guys for watching. Peace. Let me say something. Let me say I have a few things to address real quick before I end this. Oakland Raiders, between you, Jacksonville, and it's unfortunate because we facing the AFC South. Houston, Tennessee, Jacksonville all got a lot better. Indianapolis is still a problem because they got Andrew Luck. AFC South got a lot better, man. It's unfortunate we got to face them motherfuckers this year. Giants got a lot better. We got to face those motherfuckers this year. I'm not scared of the Eagles. Washington's still a scary team, and you don't know with Dallas. So this schedule is not easy. I mean, I don't think this schedule. I think this is gonna be another tough schedule this year for the Lions because it's nothing like last year where you knew the teams you had were going to be good. This year supposed to be an easier schedule, but that AFC South is nothing to fuck with. That shit ain't nothing to fuck with this. I think we could still beat the Titans. They still a young ass team. They'll lose. It'd be kind of even between us and the Colts, but Colts are at home. We'll see. Obviously, you got obviously you got the big one. You got the Houston Texans. Brock Osweiler, which is going to be a huge test. I'm liking the way Houston doing things with Lamar Miller. I can't wait to watch the Houston Texans this year. This 2016 season, I can't wait to watch it, man, because there's a lot of interesting things going on. Really want to see the Rams in LA, man. It's a lot of good things going on in this league this year, man. I feel like 2015 was the most boring NFL season I've ever seen. 2015 NFL season was a terrible fucking year. Terrible fucking season, dude. This is the worst NFL season of all time, dude. 2015. Oh my God, so fucking boring. But this 2016 is shaping up to be a really good one early on. But yeah, just good moves in Denver. You're D-O-N-E. You are fucking done. The fact that you got to go reach for I can't stay healthy, Robert Griffin III, and Colin, I can't throw a football Kaepernick, just tells you better go get fired. If you were smart, you go get Ryan Fitzpatrick. Shit. Because those options ain't going to be good. Denver, you also probably need to just go ahead and fucking rebuild. Those veteran guys that stayed on the fucking team, man, y'all should have been trying to get y'all way out of Denver. If I was y'all, I get my fucking way out of Denver. That team has declined so fucking hard, and they're gonna. And from what I'm hearing, they're not done losing people. I'm like, shit, they losing more. So, hey, Oakland, it's your division now. Shit. Sorry, Taylor Hill. You and your sister Mac. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man. Look, that's why I told y'all, enjoy y'all Super Bowl this year, because Denver, it's going to be a long time before y'all reach another one. Shit. But that's going to do it for right now, man. Long video, but I think it was a good productive video, because I knew this free agency one, I didn't do one from before, so I knew this one had to be long. So I'm glad I went over a lot of things in detail. Hopefully we get another big pickup. And it's not so much that we need the big name. It's that we need. There's a couple of positions. There's at least two positions where I think we need a veteran presence. That's if this was Madden, they're at least an 80 overall over. You know what I mean? Like, you know. So because as much as you need to build this team through the drafts, the problem I got with draft guys, they're not. A lot of them aren't ready right out of the gate. But we need guys like Prince Nakamura, James Laurinaitis, Chris Long, some of these guys. We need to target them. We need to go after them. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for right now. Thanks for listening. Peace.